You have to give AT&T credit. They're doing a pretty decent job of bringing a bunch of Windows phones to all different price tiers. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and the newest addition to the Windows Phone family on AT&T is the $49.99 Samsung Focus 2. Now, it's only $50, and yeah, it's got a 4-inch display and a 5-megapixel camera, but what it packs is 4G LTE connectivity for well under $100. Is this a device to get? We're going to check it out in the full review. I love me some budget 4G LTE devices because, let's be honest, not everybody needs a $199 smartphone or that $300 Samsung Galaxy Note. For somebody like your mom, maybe your grandma, or hey, maybe even you as a backup phone, this would be a great device to have. Here's a Samsung Focus 2. This is coming out on May 20th, so coming this Sunday for $49.99, and what I really like about this phone is it's packing some nice specs for a Windows Phone device, and it has 4G LTE connectivity, all for $50. So for $50, you get a nice device here that fits well in the hand. And just to give you a rundown of the specs, 1.4 gigahertz single core processor, a 4-inch Super AMOLED display with 480 by 800 pixels. Hey, and it's actually one that you can touch from edge to edge and use with one hand. That's pretty much a rarity in today's smartphone market, but it's got a nice size to it. 4 inches, I think, is still a great sweet spot for a lot of people. And you know, if we listen to the iPhone rumors, of course, 4 inches is maybe the next big thing. Who knows? Between 4 and 4.3 inches. It also has a 5 megapixel camera with 720p HD video recording and a front-facing camera as well. It's packing Windows Phone 7.5, also known as Mango, and thanks to that LTE connectivity, it has a little bit bigger battery in the back as well. It has a 1,750 milliamp hour battery. Design-wise, looks and feels a lot like a typical Samsung device. You've got your volume rocker over here, your power button over on the right side, your camera shortcut button, and then up top, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and then your volume rocker, or excuse me, your micro USB charging port down to the bottom. Now, out of the box, and I normally wouldn't talk about this in the review, but out of the box you do get some extra goodies. You get the AC adapter module, the USB cable, but you also get a basic pair of earbuds, which is really nice. Again, so $50, it's only available in white, coming on May 20th. Before we get into the full review, special thanks to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with devices like the Focus 2, like the Samsung Galaxy Note, for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile to pick up this device on Sunday, you'll walk out working. They'll help you get your tile set up, your email set up, your web setup, Xbox Live integration, all that good stuff. So when you walk out the door, you, your mom, your grandma, your dad, whoever you get this device for is going to walk out the door working at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look at this though. You know, in terms of look and feel, it hasn't changed much. Windows Phone is really Windows Phone, and you know, there isn't a whole lot of customization. I often joke that, you know, if customization is kind of a scale from 0 to 10, you've got Android up in like 8 to 10 category, you got iOS in like the 4 to 6 category, and then you have this over in the 2 to 4 category. So at least in terms of customization right now, it's not the best device to get. It offers some level of customization. For example, you'll notice my icons are green here, and I have a black background. Well, I can come in here to theme and change the background color, and then I can also change the accent color as well to teal, for example. And just as of note, because this is a Super AMOLED display, Super AMOLED obviously thrives on darker colors, and that's what preserves battery. So it says, because your screen is optimized for dark colors, choosing the light background will use up more of your phone's battery. So that's something to keep in mind. But outside of that, outside of changing the lock screen wallpaper, which is right here, and outside of kind of customizing the tiles around the home screen, you can move stuff around and change these and do stuff like this. But outside of that, really no customization in terms of you know, making square tiles rectangular, for example, or you know, doing anything more than the basic ringtone changes, color changes. That's about it. So you can see your applications are over here. This is your home screen. It's referred to as Metro UI. That's what Microsoft calls it, and you'll notice that there are a bunch of different tiles. I talk about this in every single Windows Phone video, but if you're coming from something like Android or iOS and you're used to just a little bit more customization, this could be a problem for you. It could be a point of contention. You know, you look at messaging, for example, or phone, and I can see perfect cases where those should be rectangular, because you could say, okay, missed calls on the home screen. John Doe called me, Steve Martin called me, Greg Williams called me, and I could easily see those without actually clicking on the AT&T or the AT&T tile there. Otherwise, you know, it's pretty decent home screen. You do get some level of customization, and you know, some people may not want that. I think this device appeals to somebody who doesn't want a customization, and actually they market that in their advertisements. You know, the whole get in, get out, get back to your life thing, where you see the camera, for example, press and hold, you get to the camera button, you can easily scroll back and forth to snap a picture, for example. And then it scrolls, and you can easily scroll back and forth between your gallery and real time. So it's all about getting in and out. So this is that device where maybe you're out on the weekend, you don't need to worry about your rooted Android device and whether the ROM's going to be stable or not. This could be the perfect unit for you just to get away for the weekend and not have to worry about custom builds and customization and things like that. Otherwise, out of the box, AT&T Code Scanner, AT&T Family Map Navigator, UVerse Mobile, all of which is uninstallable. So I can come in here and uninstall UVerse Mobile, which actually I just picked up UVerse Mobile at home, and it's kind of nice to have that application. But my AT&T, and then you get some stuff that come on all Windows phones, Xbox Live integration up here under Games, then you have Microsoft Office, then you have Now. This is Daily Briefing from Samsung. This is an application that's included in their Windows phones, and you can see here you get easy access to weather, news, stocks, and then currency, top tweets, and settings. So you can come in here and tweak the settings a little bit, see what you want on your home screen. You can have a live tile, so we can come in here and see the weather, for example, or we can have a secondary tile. Let's do a secondary news tile, for example. And you can see here's my Now News. So once I get everything set up, you can get the news. And obviously this is a cool feature of Windows Phone. These tiles are live as well. I'm not sure where those went. I think I did that myself earlier. There we go. So we'll fix that. But a lot of these tiles are dynamic. So you can see the picture tiles changing. When I have calendar appointments, they'll display here. Kind of like what I was talking about a minute ago with having rectangular tiles up here. You'll notice the People Hub changes around. So you get a lot of dynamic tiles, and when you really download a lot of stuff like Weather Channel, for example, which I think I have on here if I remember right. Yeah, Weather Channel. I can come in, select Charlotte Weather, for example, and easily see it on the home screen. So that's, again, a nice little point about Windows Phone. It's all about getting in, out, and back to your life. So we can come in here, for example, and let's go back to Start, and let's go down here and take a look at Weather Channel. We're going to pin this to the Start screen, which means it's going to go to those tiles, and I can move it around and do whatever I want to with it. We'll leave it down here for the time being. And then once I click on it and have Charlotte loaded up, it should give me real-time. Yes, let's go ahead and save that. And let's see if we can get Charlotte's weather to pop up. But once it's popped up and you're getting first time setup, exactly, London, England. It is not London, England, but we're going to pretend that we're in London, England just for sake of this video. It should pop up right here. But Tokyo, Japan is popping up apparently. Not sure why it's doing that. But you get three buttons down here, back, home, and then search. You get, and you can see, of course, it brings up the map. So you can see the tiles flipping around back and forth. Once you get it set up to your actual location, it'll show Charlotte, for example, and flip back and forth and show the weather conditions, and obviously it'll change from daytime to nighttime, which is a really cool feature. Also, a couple of other cool things that I want to point out about Windows Phone. The People Hub is really neat because you can come in here and you'll see that I have some people in my hub, for example. You can see the latest Twitter update that I had, my picture here, and trolling knows no time limit. Yes, it's all about trolling. Trolling knows no time limits. True words have never been spoken. So you can see here, this is a cool feature that I like a lot. So I have an S contact and a T contact. I can click here, and the letters that are lit up should correspond to the tiles that I have contacts in. So for example, I have no D contacts or E contacts right now in this device. We can go into Sam Johnson, for example, and actually let's go into test contact to make it even better. You can see the picture, you can see the mobile number, the text, and then I can go into the history and see if I've had any conversations or calls with that contact. So you get some level of customization and a pretty decent level of personal information management. But then over here I can easily access my Twitter account and see what's new. Then I can go to all. And once I start calling people on a regular basis, I'll have a hub that shows me all the tiles of people that I call and text on a regular basis. That's a neat feature. Also, another tile that I find really useful in Windows Phone, the Me tile. I can come in here and post a message. I can check in. I can set my chat status on Windows Live. I can see my notifications. I can see what's new. And again, that brings up my Twitter feed. So I can post a message, for example, and say something like, test from... Hi, or even better, let's say hi from Focus 2. Hi from Focus 2. And this is going to serve as kind of the keyboard test as well. 4-inch display here, going to be good for a lot of people. For me, I'm used to a little bit of a larger display, maybe 4.3 inches. And then when I'm using the iPhone, I'm used to a little bit of a smaller one. But transition effects, nice and smooth on this device, little to no lag. And there's that nice little transition effect. So even though it takes a couple of seconds, it kind of tricks your mind into thinking it's shorter than it really is. So hi from the Focus 2. Little pet peeve as well, you'll notice that when I go into landscape mode, you obviously have your notifications bar up here, and you can't keep that on the screen. It's a point of contention I bring up in every single Windows Phone review, but you'll also notice that the keyboard doesn't stretch to the sides of the display, so you're missing out on some valuable screen real estate here when you're typing in landscape mode. Otherwise, no big deal. It should be pretty useful for most people. So hi from the Focus 2. We're going to post that, and that's going to pop up on Twitter. And of course I can check in and do stuff like that as well. So you can see what's new, and then it shows hi from Focus 2 right there. So that's a neat little feature also. Another one that I really like that I don't point out on a lot of the videos, Local Scout. So we're going to click on this, for example. I'm in my office uptown, and so let's say it's after work. I'm like, I really need something to eat or something to drink. really need some drinks. You know, it's Friday night. Let's have some fun. Go out with Quick Run Fox. We're gonna have a drink. It's loading up right now to show you some of the cool places to go around the immediate vicinity of the office. So you'll see, obviously, there's a Hooters nearby. There's a couple of bars, and all that stuff's gonna pop up under the eat and drink when the internet connectivity here decides to cooperate. Here we go. Morton's Steakhouse, for example, eat and drink. So Morton's Steakhouse, Cutters, McCormick and Schmick's, Ruth's Chris. A lot of expensive places, but most of the grill's pretty good. Aria Tuscan Grill. Capitol Grill, a lot of places. And then I can say See and Do, so the NASCAR Hall of Fame is up here. Night Theater, of course. You've got Redbox, which, hey, if you want a movie, Redbox options are up here as well. You got some Red Rose Festival, Epicenter Theater, so you got a lot of different things to see and do. And then, of course, I've got shopping here as well. And then I have a map that corresponds to where those are located in Uptown Charlotte. This is really useful because I've carried Windows phones on business trips before, landed in a city and been like, I'm really hungry, what's near my hotel? I can click that local scout button and easily see what's around me. Messaging, again, I won't spend too much time in this, but I just want to show you with this demo phone that I have here. You can see what a messaging thread looks like, and again, it corresponds to the color scheme that the device is. So in this case, teal, and you can see the two different shades of teal depending on the text thread, and obviously those change along with the color. So you have three dots here, which basically serve as right-clicking on the menu, and you can see the shortcuts suddenly become a little bit bigger. You can see text below, so you can see send, attach, and you get kind of an idea. If you come in like this and you're like, what in the world do these mean? I can come down here and say, oh, speak, and go from there. And then I can also, of course, delete the thread. Now, one other thing to point out, multitasking. You know, it's not real multitasking by any means on Windows Phone, but you do have the ability to press and hold the back button and easily scroll through some of these cards. And I can go back, for example, to my Me tile and go back to Twitter and easily access that and press and hold and do the same thing again and go back to Weather Channel, for example. So it's kind of an app freezing tool, which when I want to reactivate something, I can go right back in and access multitasking.